Hi, I'm Nancy Lorenzon, and I'm teaching faculty in the Department of Biological Sciences at the University of Denver. And I'm excited to spend just a few minutes with you talking about our one-year Professional Science Masters in Biomedical Sciences program. There is a lot of information available in the virtual booth, so feel free to look around. I'm just going to keep this pretty short and just highlight a few things. Also, feel free to reach out to me anytime. My contact information is in the virtual booth, and it is just my first name, Nancy.Lorenzon at du.edu. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you might have. So just a little bit about the program, as I mentioned. Really, our goals are several-fold, is really to make sure that we're preparing students for challenging careers in biomedical sciences, healthcare, and health sciences. And so we do that through rigorous coursework, really giving you those advanced graduate level courses in the sciences. But we also complement that science work with other courses in terms of electives and in some required courses. So courses like medical ethics, responsible conduct in research, leadership, and then there are a whole host of electives that you'll see in a minute through social sciences, humanities, business, and engineering that one could take to really complement your coursework and background knowledge. In addition, we really want students to be able to focus on what are some of the challenges or current issues, challenges, research that's happening right now in healthcare and in industry. And so especially through your capstone project that I'll talk about in a minute, but also in terms of coursework, really getting to know some of the current research and also concerns or issues regarding health and biomedical sciences. So I think one of the really strong points, the things that the students really like the best about this program is it's really individualized. So yes, there are core classes that all students need to take, but I work one-on-one with students, helping them build their curriculum, their elective coursework that really complements what they've done in the past and really helps them prepare for whatever path they're on for their future career. In addition, we have students work year-long on a capstone project in addition to their classes. And so that capstone project is something that I work to find a capstone mentor for you, so you don't have to figure out a mentor. And that mentor is typically outside of the University of Denver in the industry or area that you ultimately would like to pursue. So for example, if someone is interested in going to PA school, they would be paired with a PA. If you're interested in medicine, which most of you probably are, that you are paired with a physician in a specialty area that you are interested in, and you'll work on a project, a year-long project with that mentor. And also, we have also the director with my other hat of pre-health education and advising at the University of Denver. So we support all students, undergrad and grad, who are pursuing a career in healthcare. And so we have lots of workshops and presentations, opportunities for volunteer internships, clinical experiences, etc., and also lots of one-on-one support. We write committee letters for students and do lots of practice interviews and things like that. We'll review personal statements, and we also have an MCAT boot camp that we put forth for students during winter interterm and again in the summer. So there's lots of supports in terms of your academics in building your capstone project. And so really networking with people in the industry, building that knowledge and having a individual project that you can talk about in when you go to an interview or for a job or for professional school. And as I said, very one-on-one program academically, but also in terms of career support. So the other thing that I just like to mention is really our curriculum originally was built with an outside advisory board. That outside advisory board was in biomedical research and industry, biotech, also clinical healthcare, in hospital administration, and that board helped build and still now currently helps guide the curriculum to make sure that students are getting not only the academic and science information they need, but also those professional tools that are sought out by those people hiring our graduates. In addition, our PSM program is recognized by the National Professional STEM Masters Association. And so I have to put in our curriculum and outcomes of our program. I have to put in a report every year, but every 5 years it goes in for full review. And we have just last year got put in for that review and was approved. So we are still strong. And so these are in addition to the university and their oversight, making sure that we have a strong curriculum and good outcomes for our students. We also have these other two boards that can really be helpful. So in general, as I said, it's a one-year master's program. And so students complete 45 credit hours of coursework and also have to complete their written and oral defense of their capstone project in that year. About half the number of credits are required core courses like advanced molecular biology, advanced cell signaling, I already mentioned medical ethics, responsible conduct and research and leadership. But then also there is plenty of room for students to choose electives in the sciences or outside the sciences to really strengthen their foundation. And so, as I said, I work really closely one-on-one during the summer. I send students a survey to start finding out information about and we start brainstorming about different coursework that would be beneficial, different capstone projects that would strengthen but also complement what the student has done in the past, and really building that individual curriculum and professional skills and extracurricular activities that are going to be really important in your future applications. So as I said, curriculum, as we'll see, is going to expand and strengthen knowledge in the sciences, but also give a more global awareness, interdisciplinary awareness of health and biomedical issues outside of the natural sciences also, while building those professional skills. And of course, as I already mentioned, the experiential component of the capstone project. So here's just a quick overview of the coursework. So a little bit heavier in terms of required courses in the beginning and having more flexibility as you move throughout. As I said, the capstone is going to start in the fall quarter and build as the student generates their capstone proposal and starts working on their project and getting ready to ultimately present in the spring, or if students want to continue during the summer so they can continue their relationship and working on their project with their mentor, the students do have the option to continue during the summer without having to take courses, just really focusing on their capstone. So typically students graduate in June, but have the option to also graduate in August if they prefer. I already mentioned that, we have a lot of strengthening of both scientific knowledge and professional skills as part of the core, but the elective students can build from across campus. And so I'll help students in choosing the coursework that ultimately will complement what they've done in undergrad and build on their preparedness for whatever their next step is. So in the natural sciences, so biology and chemistry, for example, there are a number of electives that students can take. But also, as I mentioned, in the social sciences, humanities, and business. So we have some students who might be interested in taking a business class or two because they haven't been done much in terms of business coursework in the past and really want to be able to understand basic reporting and accounting for grants, for example, or ultimately if they want to go into administration in their healthcare field, or if they want to have their own clinic, for example, is just another area that might have one seek out some business courses. Obviously, public policy, very important in terms of healthcare. So the social sciences, so some students haven't taken much psychology in the past and really want to build that awareness of mental health and some of that foundation. Or global health. If students are interested in global health, we have a number of courses related to global health out of international studies. And I mentioned the capstone. The capstones, as you'll see, and they're listed, there's lists of them also posted in the virtual booth, but the capstones can look very different based upon students' future career interest and also what they've done in the past. So really making sure that this is a meaningful experience, that it's going to be beneficial, not just continuing on things that you've done in the past, but really strengthening that background. And just some examples from this past year is we had people, most of the people are interested in pursuing medical school and becoming physicians. We do have some students who are interested in PA. We've had a couple a couple students interested in dentistry, et cetera, and some students trying to decide, is it, I'd like to kind of use this year to help decide if I should go the medical school route or go the research route, for example. And so we can find capstone projects and coursework that'll help you make that decision, but also be beneficial for either one once you decide which one you would ultimately like to do. So it'd be beneficial for both. And so we've had students who are interested in, have worked with pulmonologists, students interested in psychiatry, for example, or interested in maternal health, and so OBGYN. We've had students interested in orthopedics, for example, or in pathology. And so really working to help students, like I said, build the strongest foundation that they have, both in their coursework and their extracurriculars, and while they network and build a lot of some experiential work also. So in terms of application process, our applications are open. They are open until the second week in August. So we are on enrolling admission. And so we will keep reviewing applications weekly until we reach our maximum number of students. It's a relatively small program because of the individual nature of both coursework and capstone. In terms of financial support, we don't have graduate teaching assistantships and things like that as would in a traditional master's program, but our tuition is discounted and discounted quite a bit from the University of Denver tuition. So if you go in and look for cost of attendance at the University of Denver, make sure you're specifically picking the professional science master's program in biomedical sciences. out of the Department of Biology, and you can see that it is almost half of basic tuition at the university. So although we don't offer scholarships or graduate teaching assistantships, we have discounted the program, and some students have who qualify for federal aid have been able to do work study to help supplement their income, for example, and we have had people work part-time during our program also. So please feel free, as I said, to reach out to me with any questions. I will be on Zoom during this virtual session, but also feel free to reach out to me afterwards. Thank you.